Have you had emotionally painful experiences?
Did you know what to do about them?
Or did you bottle up the pain and hope it would fade away?
In this video, we are going to continue our discussion about the healing journey from trauma.
Welcome back to our Change How You Think weekly video podcast.
If you'd like to hear from us every week, then subscribe to our videos on YouTube or click on the weekly video tab at the top of the web page. Fill in the subscription form and you'll get our free self-assessment ebook, Healthy Moods, along with your choice of mental, spiritual, or relationship information.
This week we have a special guest, Paul Willoughby. I've known Paul since I was a teenager, and he has written a fascinating book called Don't Waste Your Pain.
In this interview, he talks about his personal abuse experience and what he learned about trauma in his family.
It's an excerpt of a longer interview which is part of the trauma course in the Free Your Mind program.
We'll talk to you after the video.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to this lesson of Free Your Mind. And today we have a special guest, and I want to introduce you to Paul Willoughby. Now, Paul Willoughby is a very old friend of mine. I think I met Paul when I was age 12. And then his wife I've known from, I think, even earlier. Mm-hmm. And we also share the same birth date, not the same year, but the same date. So I've been friends with Paul for a very long time, and I learned recently that Paul had written a book, Don't Waste Your Pain. And as soon as I heard about that, I thought that would fit so perfectly with our trauma course. And so I've invited Paul to come on the program today to tell us a little bit about the book, why he wrote it, and some really helpful tips for you because we all have pain. And God doesn't want us to waste it. So Paul, welcome. It's just great to have you back. You're in Burlington, Ontario, which isn't all that far, but with Zoom we can go anywhere. And so it's great to have you. So tell us a little bit about the book and why did you write it?
Hey, Dr. Grant, thank you so much for having me. First of all, it is very special to be here with you and to realize that we do go back a long way. And that with my wife, Gloria, of course, your family go back even farther. Gloria's dad was the best man for your mother's brother's wedding. So your uncle's wedding. Yeah. So, hey, we're almost family. But, you know, you said something so important, and that is we all have pain. It's not something we talk about a lot.
Well, it's too painful.
Yeah, isn't it true? So true. C.S. Lewis says, pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our consciences, but shouts in our pain. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Wow, that is so powerful. And growing up, I grew up in a good Christian home, loving mom and dad.
I knew them well.
Church. Yeah, went to church. But going to church doesn't save you, protect you from hurt. It can sure help us in how to deal with it, with caring people who could come around us. But it's not a shield completely from. And so when I was around 11 or so years of age, was sexually abused by an older male on several occasions. Now, back then, Dr. Grant, as you know, we didn't talk about those things. The first person I ever told was actually my wife. And obviously that wasn't until after we were married. So we're fast forwarding at least a decade. And so you keep things inside. And often you think you're the problem. And during this whole time, of course, and it wasn't until later that I began to understand some of the pain in my own family, that is, with my father and my grandfather. My dad had a very painful childhood.
So you can see that even being raised in a Christian home and attending church regularly didn't protect Paul from trauma.
We all have trauma in our lives, but at different levels of severity.
The impact of the trauma depends mostly on your interpretation of the event and how it affected your self-confidence, self-image, and self-esteem.
Very few people ever get healing from their pain because we carry our pain privately and don't want to talk about it.
The good news is Jesus wants to heal your traumas and set you free from the lies you believed about yourself if you give him permission.
If you'd like to hear the rest of the interview with Paul and learn how trauma can be healed, come join us in Free Your Mind and do the course Healing from Trauma.
Free Your Mind is an online self-study program that will help you change how you think. It will guide you through a pathway of healing mentally, spiritually, and emotionally.
Through 15-minute videos, regular live group coaching calls, an online community forum, and 24-hour access to our entire video library, you can work at your own speed anytime from anywhere in the world on any device to begin the life-changing transformation you've been looking for. You can learn more about it using the links below this video.
You can learn more about Paul's fascinating book, Don't Waste Your Pain, and watch videos of the many people he's interviewed by visiting his interactive website. And there's a link below this video.
We'll talk to you next week, but this week, have the courage to talk to Jesus and a counselor about your past traumas and pain.